And welcome back to Tripod, everybody. Adrian here once again. We're going to go down the list and introduce everybody. Starting with Drew.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Down the list.
Hey, I'm Drew, and I'm getting tired of speaking for the trees.
I'm Jacob. That's it.
Hi, I'm Wallace. Nice to meet you.
I'm Denny.
DeVito.
Yes.
Also, Drew, his new nickname is Druid.
Yep.
But he doesn't speak for the trees.
But he studies and speaks for the trees.
I have to.
I thought
contract.
he was a Vex. I thought he was a Vexen replica.
No, he's a Druid. A Druid.
Yes, the pun. Haha, funny.
And he studies trees. Get it? See? Haha, funny. Amazon.
Does he hug them too?
Honk.
Okay, so since that one didn't go over as well as I wanted it to, let's start Tripod today. Some of you may notice that we don't have our usual cast here today, although actually we kind of do have our usual cast here today if you think about it. We're missing Kit. Kit is dying or dead. I don't know. One of the two.
He's speaking for the trees while Drew's busy with the podcast.
He's unwell, and we send all of our energy to him, and he squanders it. This is a rebellion. I am announcing Tripulse 2. Coming to a theater near you. Alright. Anyways, let's do a sync.
Yeah.
On the count of 3. Snap, clap, or say something to signify that you're going to do a sync.
Roll?
No, don't stop, drop, and roll. Or do the dinosaur.
Well, you can, but it won't do much.
Yeah. Let's do a sync, though. Oh, you guys said that in text or voice. Yeah.
We're gonna fucking do it live, baby. Let's go.
Kit can do a sync, because he still is our fearless leader and is going to do the editing for this, like the fearless leader he is. Alright, so 1, 2, 3.
Close enough.
I did a second one.
Close enough.
Second one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope you did a second one, because I'm not going to do it again.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
That's fine. Listen, all I want to say before we continue with the tripod is that for a fearless leader, Kit sure does have a lot of fears.
I have no fear. I have many fear. Anyways, I'm echoing through somebody.
It's Danny.
Oh, it's Danny DeVito.
There's echo coming
Danny
from you?
Dorito.
Yeah, just a little bit. If
Yeah, I use
through,
headphones.
if it's coming through Discord, it's probably going to come through on your recording.
Okay.
Well,
Just an FYI.
I'll turn that down. Okay.
Let's talk about. Thank you. Sorry. I like the little plant. Nobody can see this, but it's a great name.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Anyways, let's talk about what's going on in Tripulse. Let me start, because kind of cool thing happened. Hey, guess what? Pre-sale for the Tripulse Hydration Delivery Service shirts is going on right now. You can go to the Break Chains website and order one yourself. Please let me know if there are any issues with the website or the checkout procedure or anything like that, because I need to know, and I need to be able to fix them, and I need to be able to talk to people to fix them sometimes, and yeah, all that good stuff. Also, there's a different tab on the Break Chains website that says charity, and it'll bring up a little drop-down menu. The only one in that menu right now is a hydration delivery service. It actually gives you a rundown of what the hydration delivery service is, what the proceeds from the shirts go to. It kind of gives you a small breakdown of what these charities do. It also gives a shout out to Mute, the guy who did the illustration for the shirts, and it also gives a shout out to Sarixa, who is doing the logo design for this specific line. And yeah, that's all out there, and it's going on right now. And the more And faster these shirts sell, the quicker we can get to doing stuff like water bottles, pins, stickers, and all kinds of cool stuff for this line. And then also, moving on to newer, better, and cooler products in the future as well. And if you can't afford one
right now,
don't worry about it too much. There might be a giveaway for one. There's also going to be 3 limited edition versions of it that'll go kind of up later on that you'll be able to see and look at and want, but we don't have the details on those quite yet because, well, the shirts themselves haven't been made, so you're gonna have to wait and see what that's about. I don't really have anything else to talk about Tripulse related. How about you guys?
I just want those stickers, bro. Give me them stickers.
Stickers will be coming out. They're just gonna be different from. Well, they're not gonna be different from the shirt. The sticker design is just that the crate of water bottles and not the explosive water around them. It's just gonna be the crate.
Understandable.
So, because it just looks better as a sticker than all the other mess.
We have some great expectations going on.
Oh, you're reaching.
Adrian.
You're reaching. Spray says that she will kill you.
That's
and
fair.
I will allow it.
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna. So actually, let me ask you guys a question. Yep, order number uno dos. That's not correct at all. There you go. There you have it. Wallace with the first ever purchase of a Break Chains related merchandise.
Thank
I
you
have
for
a
your
gripe.
Twitch. Thank you for
What
your
do you have
Twitch
a gripe?
subscription.
I had to use PayPal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all that's gonna happen right now. Until I can get a Stripe account, PayPal is the only way that we can do that.
Unlucky.
Yep. So, I do have something that I want to talk about fast. How do you guys feel about me talking about Break Chains? Of course, in Tripod, but also in the Tripulse section of Tripod.
Do it.
Because, technically it's not Tripulse. So I don't want to overextend and overreach because it is my personal thing. It's a project. It's at the end of the day, it's a business, and it needs to make money, and I have to do my marketing stuff. And you guys are the audience for this particular shirt because it's very specifically Tripulse, which actually severely limits the reach of this particular campaign unless more people join the community, which is, also a goal. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't feel wrong in a way that, I'm using you guys or anything like that. And crickets.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
And if we have stuff where people are talking about their own music, then it's perfectly fine if you could talk about your project thing.
So I just wanted validation for that because every once in a while I do got to go back and think about things that I want to do and if they're Tripulse related or if they're my own thing, and then if they're my own thing, then how forward can I be about pushing that in different groups. And it's different everywhere. I can't just go on Reddit and talk about how I'm selling shirts to, I don't know, the small business subreddit or anything like that. So,
well, Tripulse, and maybe to a lesser extension this podcast, is indeed a platform for creativity, and you're being creative, so do it.
Cool. I do appreciate that.
And also the podcast is almost whatever you want it to be because you're kind of in charge in general.
Yeah.
That's also a thing that I've been thinking about recently, and it feels like I expressed this last time I was on Tripod. I wasn't on the last one. In the last Tripod, where I felt kind of weird with the release of the month, And I think Jacob, you're actually the one that said that we should do like a Google form and see what other people thought of being their release of the month, so we could kind of find all the good ones and decide on a group one, or maybe just listen to each other's and talk about them conversely.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel that way about everything tripod related. I kind of feel like, yeah, I can pick a topic here and there, and I can do all this research, and I can take these notes, but I want to make sure that you guys don't feel like you're being talked over or anything like that. I want it to feel like a conversation with you guys instead of me just kind of droning on about different things. I mean, I can do that all day long, as you can see from me doing right now. I also got to work on my delivery when talking too, because I tend to leave off sentences and they're so open that there's not really replies to them as well. So I just want to kind of reiterate with you guys, like, if you have something that you want to talk about, please tell me to shut up if need be. Like, just speak over me.
Okay.
Understandable.
Got it.
Thanks, son. The only one that took the correct advice.
Hey, that's really cool, but I want to talk about... I'm just kidding.
So, that's really all I have to talk about as Tripulse related. I do think that by the time I'm finished doing this this setup for Break Chains, I will be able to actually talk about launching Teamfight, which is the co-op music competition that I talked about previously. Teamfight is still a working title, so if you guys have a better suggestion, please tell me, and we can talk about stuff like that. But yeah, I think by the time we have the next tripod, I think I'll be able to talk about it a little more in depth. So I think it'll be cool. Let's move on to let's move on to music, if you guys don't have anything to add to that.
Nope, let us move on.
Nope, let's move on.
Yeah.
Cool. So in my notes here, it says music that was released this past whatever. False Hero had a EP come out called False God. Yax had an EP come out called Trash Talk. For some reason, these are the only two things in my notes. I think I might have deleted my old notes, so that's cool. But there's a lot more music that came out. There was definitely Essenger's album. There was some Apache. There was two different songs. I know that Prototype had a couple songs come out recently. Keizo had a couple songs come out recently. Just a bunch of different stuff came out, and I'll put together the playlist tonight, and I'll make sure that it's posted tonight. That way, Kit can take care of that by putting it on the blog or whatever.
I also have singles from 5 artists that I've been tracking as well that I can talk about.
So that brings me to my kind of next thing. Do you guys want to rapid fire your releases right now, or do you want to talk about the release of the month and then talk about the releases that you thought were pretty cool after that?
I think we should do release of the month and then go over other stuff that we've listened to.
Yeah.
Cool. So for anybody that is not in the server, for anybody listening to this podcast after the fact, for anybody who is just not on the speaking cast, the release of the month this month was After Dark by Essenger. It's a 10-track album, and it was really, really good. I'm losing my voice right now. What is going on?
Hit spirit is getting you.
Odd, yeah. Like it's the moderator syndrome flaring up again. Yeah. So this is an album that I've been looking forward to for like the greater part of last year, going into this year. I really, really, really enjoyed this album. I feel like it had a lot of really great ambience to it, and it's just I can't really like go into detail on why I love it. It just, every part of it was so cool, and there's a couple weak songs on there for sure. Empire of Steel is probably what most people will say is the weakest song on this.
I have to agree with that.
I will
100%, concur. Because, like, for me, I also really loved the album, just full of like bop after bop, but Empire of Steel is just like, it's so on the nose, dare I say cheesy. It sounds like in that song he kind of approached cyberpunk the same way that Billy Idol did, which is like very like surface level, and it's very cheesy and weird, and I don't like it.
And that's actually an interesting thing that you bring up, Danny, because we had that cyberpunk conversation a few tripods back. And I think that this album is a damn near perfect example of what cyberpunk is musically.
I would agree with that, but Empire of Steel is not, though.
It sounds like a cheesy like 80s or 90s cartoon adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole album sounded like that to me.
And that's everybody. I mean, that's everybody's opinion too. Like it's different for people.
It's like some highlights for me off this album. It's like the title track After Dark is pretty good. Exopolitan I liked a lot. I did not expect there to be a literal metalcore song on here with Lost Boys. I loved that one.
It's a very good song. I liked it. I really enjoyed the the song with Lexi Norton, Downfall. I love duets like this where they kind of almost mirror each other in different verses, and I love songs like that in general. So that's a really cool one. I also thought, just the kind of like flow going from Can't Rely on Memories, Downfall, and then Empire Steel, Lost Boys, and Blood Moon, kind of like just basically the culmination of that entire album, like packed down into Blood Moon and brought in elements from every part of the album.
Yeah, I really liked the title track and the one called Half-Life. That one's pretty cool too. Don't generally listen to much of this genre, so it's really neat. Yeah,
that's actually the much of this genre kind of thing you bring up. That's actually funny too, because I was thinking about the Tripod playlist. I'm deviating right now, but I was thinking about the Tripod playlist and how it's vastly based on my taste in music, and you'll hear a lot of dubstep in the playlist that I make. It's just my taste. Like there's plenty of music that comes out all the time, and I won't add it to the playlist if I didn't like it. So if you guys have something that you think belongs in the playlist, let me know so that it gets added to the playlist, because if I didn't like it but somebody else liked it, then it gets in the playlist. If I didn't like it and nobody tells me about it or says, hey, what about this, then it's not going to be in the playlist. So
yeah, I'll probably put a playlist up. One thing that I thought was really cool about this too is, I don't listen to the genre much, of course, but this really reminded me a lot of Billen's album Nomad's Revenge, which is sort of like cyber neuro stuff. It's really cool.
I just went back and listened to that, actually. It showed up in my recommendations, and yeah, I can definitely see the parallels there.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite albums of all time, so it's kind of cool to hear cyber stuff here.
Yeah. So, speaking of Billen, I know Danny listened to it. Did anybody else listen to the thing I posted from him? That was the rearrangement of the Neon Genesis.
Yeah, the Evangelion thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That one's really cool. I loved it a lot. It's got such a great variety and spread of just musical talents and instrumentation. I'm deviating again. I'm sorry. One thing that I don't like about this album, and actually this is albums in general, are these like introduction tracks, Shinigami on here, that just completely rolls over and folds into After Dark. I feel like that should have just been an After Dark album mix or something instead of
just
two
tack it
different
on.
ones.
Just tack it on to the beginning.
Like, After Dark was released before the album.
I'm sorry. It's just a fucking Tripulse bot. Just fucking posted the fucking
Finally.
thing in meta.
Really? Really? I've been outed.
Did I really have to do that?
I've been outed,
right?
not only by you guys, not only by the Tripulse Twitter, which I did myself, but the Tripulse bot that reposts shit from Twitter. Thanks. Thanks, Discord. Immortalized. I can't delete this fucking tweet now.
Immortalized, dude. Immortalized.
Hate
To
it.
the end of time.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, in this album and in a vast number of other albums that I can't name off the top of my head, I just don't like introduction tracks like that. If the introduction track actually, like, brings something that I could listen to outside of the album, then maybe sometimes I could get into it. But just make an album mix of your song if you're gonna do something like this. I can't rely on my memories. That song on this same album can hold its own. It's a short song. It's not really anything like over the top incredible, but it can hold its own as a song, even though it's basically an interlude.
And there's definitely a lot of very cool intro and outro songs in just different albums.
Yeah.
Swarms had some cool intros. X and G's Persona album had a cool intro.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with that, yeah.
Not even necessarily intros can be bad, just sometimes they're not super well thought through.
Yeah.
The stuff like the 6-minute intro on Nomad's Revenge, that was really cool.
Now, I will say, I do think the title of that song actually ties into his, like, lore or something that he thought up for this album, because there's this thing called the Cyber Reaper that he talks about. I don't know if the music video for this album has come out yet or not, but he's talked about this, like, doing all the set design and costume design and filming it and all this other stuff, and it's actually a design on a shirt that they made for the album as well. So I don't know, maybe it has something to do with something outside of the album itself, but even then, like, there's not a lot of sustenance there.
I believe that video you're talking about is out, because when I looked up After Dark, the single track on its own on YouTube earlier, there was some sort of music video that was posted.
It would make sense if you know, a music video typically comes out before an album or immediately after an album, and this one's been out for almost a month now, so yeah, it would make sense. That's all I can really say and gush about. Like, if I really wanted to make details, I could write a post about it, but I'm not gonna do that. I actually really want to try and get this guy in on an interview. I think I mentioned this before, but I want to do interviews for Tripulse, and oh yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, I want to do Tripulse interviews, Tripulse or Tripod interviews, where you guys kind of submit questions and I'll host an interview, or somebody else can host the interview and I can submit a question, and, you know, all that lottie-dottie.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Let's move on to the music that you guys want to talk about. Who would like to go first? Don't all jump out of your seats at once, guys.
And if you want, I can start. I just got a lot.
Yeah, I'll go last myself.
Okay.
Because I want everyone else to go first.
So Chi had a thing on Deadbeats called Vultures. It's kind of cool. It's got like a very womp intro to the drop. 13 had his song Atomic. That was pretty cool. All Nighter Volume 4. That's pretty cool. You know, they had that. And there's people like Volant on there. Marshmallow had his thing.
I saw you post about that, actually. It's in my queue, and I just have not taken time to listen to it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Don't like it as much as the others, but it was still really cool. Just because this time, instead of picking the artists beforehand, they picked the music afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like really cool, but also you didn't see a lot of specific artists who'd done it before.
Okay.
So yeah, Marshmallow and Sudden Death had their thing.
Yeah, I heard.
I like that one better than Happy.
Are you talking about Crusade?
Yeah, Crusade.
I didn't really jam with that song.
I liked it a lot more than I liked their other collab.
Yeah, it's my favorite
Sell Out,
Marshmallow
really?
song, which isn't saying much. But
Yeah, I can feel that.
I like Sell Out more than I like Crusade, but that's because Crusade is kind of a strange.
Not Sell Out.
Vibe.
Although I don't really like Sell Out either. I was thinking of the Sudden Death remix of the Marshmallow song. Happy? something to do with the positive feeling.
I don't know. I feel like Marshmallow's like little foray into dubstep has been okay, but he hasn't really made anything with Sudden Death or anybody else that has really got me, out of my fucking seat headbanging,
Yeah, I feel that.
So,
songs that make me make a bass face or get me headbanging, which I talked about, I think, last Tripod. Fucking Lux's song, Wook Zone. Oh, man, the initial drop is just so fucking dirty. I love it.
Actually, going back really quick to Marshmallow, there is one song, but it's a Gentleman's Club remix. What's it called? I have it in my EDM playlist. Tongue Tied, Gentleman Club remix of Tongue Tied is really good. That I've been jamming to quite a bit.
Gentleman's Club is pretty good, just overall.
Yeah,
as of right
Gentleman's
now, at
Club
least.
is a really good artist.
Group.
As far as like fucking bass face music though, Trampa Murata Ruckus, dude.
Yeah.
That song fucking slaps, bro. Because fucking Trampa is nuts.
For a while, dude, just like Murata just it's too loud, in my opinion. If that's a way of like talking about it, it like hurts my ears. Josh, talk all the smack you want. I don't care. I don't know. Just like some of his music's really good. Like I liked a lot of his Mastodon music, but like around the time that he switched to Murata, and then maybe 2 or 3 releases after, it just kind of, I don't know. It went too far off for me, in my opinion. Anyways, sorry, Jacob, go on with anything else that you had.
There's also Basic. He had an EP.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, The Idea of Evil. That one was really nice.
And one of probably my favorite release of the month actually was there was Powered by Inspected Volume 3, which had all the big people like Clockvice Forso, Boonshin, Frequent, Copycat. It's just like really cool and it's free, so it's got all kinds of stuff on it. Utlasile had that remix set, like remix EP, where it had like Mr. Bill, Laxity, Clockvice, and Vorso. It's also pretty cool. Speaking of Vorso, he had a EP, Wanderer EP on Pilot. That's like the UKF thing, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but that was really cool. Then there's also just some other stuff like Zed's Dead and Rez did a thing.
Mm-hmm. Into the Abyss, I think.
Yeah. Feich did a thing. I'm hoping I'm not butchering his name. He did an EP. And
Fitch? I think it's Fitch.
Yeah. Then there's one other thing that was really neat. I've been listening a lot to the record label like Saturated. And they had this one EP by a dude named Spike Malice. And it's called like Eustress or something. But it's kind of cool. And also, sadly, Meth Lab is dead.
Didn't really follow Meth Lab too much, to be honest.
A lot of drum and bass stuff. They did a thing or two before they left. They just did a remix like thing with IHR and Except.
Mm-hmm.
And IHR made a remix of an Except song called Stronger. That was really cool. But yeah, Meth Lab did stuff with like artists like Colprate. Just a lot of D&B stuff. And also I've done a little bit of music on Assembly Line recently, so yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Sick. So before we keep going, I just want to point out a few different things. Ashlyn had some music come out recently, or maybe she had some music come out this week or next week, something like that. Go check that out. That's pretty cool. Our homeboy Qualico has something coming out on The Conservatory, which is a new collective from the same guys that brought you Expanse. So,
Expanse 2.
It's Expanse 2, but clean. And finally, I also want to...
Expanse 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I also want to point out an EP that I forgot about until just now, but I know Zach would maul me if I didn't mention it. Ace Aura had an EP come out called the Comatose EP, and that one was really cool, and I liked it a lot. So you posted this thing in art earlier of your album art.
All Night, that was my All Nighter Volume 4 song I made. It was just like trance. Yeah, I made it in like the worst software ever.
I gotta say that I love stuff like that though. Like there was a while back. I'm gonna deviate here again. There's stuff a while back where the city of Los Angeles needed a new graphic designer for their team or whatever, and so for their graphic design, they just like posted up big fucking billboards and screens of the MS Paint window, and somebody had like shittily wrote on there, hiring a graphic designer.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me see if I can find this picture real quick because it's so funny.
But I think in the All Nighter 4 thing, actually, Convexity made a tune too, so that's kind of cool. Sort of some Expanse stuff there.
Alright, so here's the big ass screen billboard that I was talking about.
That's great.
It's amazing.
And here's their actual ad, which is just as good. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny.
No, this reminds me, when I did my first release on Assembly Line, actually, the Volume 54 thing, they didn't have art, like, in time, so somebody just wrote, like, 53 on a software, if I can just post the thing here, but, like, it's just 53, and it's called Damaged Goods. It's really stupid. But, like, usually they got really cool art, and just this one time they had none, so they got the worst artwork possible.
Yeah. That's
That was my first release on Assembly Line 2, which is so sad. But yeah.
Nah, it's fine. It's cool. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, you know, stuff like that when you posted that little cover, but also like when you posted this thing from SoundCloud. Like I unironically love stuff like that where it's just like it's so on the nose and obvious. I don't know. There's something that's just like really interesting about stuff like that. Anti graphic design, basically. So sorry for deviating. You got anything else to talk about?
I lost a remix competitions that'll be coming out soon, and then also I signed up for one with Squeeze Me, who said he'd have his announcements of who won before the end of the month. But as you can see, it is March 1st. So
well,
yeah,
maybe he meant March. The end of March.
That would be unfortunate.
So, okay. How about Drew and Wallace before Danny goes?
Well, nothing too big music-wise, but I will like to shout out to the Japanese community for releasing the Persona 5 Strikers soundtrack before its English release, because I've been having it on nonstop loop for the past 2 weeks. So thank you to those who do us all a service here in the West.
Nice. I'm going to go back to something Jacob said real fast. He said before the end of the month. I also want to say happy December 91st, people.
Thanks,
To
Adrian.
2019.
Thank you, first.
Yo, 2019 just keeps on rolling, doesn't it?
It doesn't stop. It beats you to shit, and it keeps beating you to shit.
We're in just 2019 part 2.
Until I have a singular, great, absolutely great week, it will be fucking 2019. Anyways, okay. Wallace, what about you? Like,
I mean, I've already like kind of talked about most of the stuff that I've listened to. I don't really go out of my way to like find new music. But I guess just to like recap some of the things that I have heard is the fucking Crusade by Marshmello and Sudden Death, which is pretty fucking meh. Gentleman's Club remix of Tongue Tied, which I fucking love. Ruckus by Trampa Murata, which is really good. Fucking Lion's Cage by Flux Pavilion. The Haze remix is good. I've been finding like music a little bit like after they've come out. So like, Odd Prophet had a song come out, Rhythm Love Song, which is good. As well as been jamming a lot to Temanite's remix of Bring Me to Life. So
Cover.
Yeah, cover.
Important distinction.
Remix. Temanite,
because it keeps it legal for them.
Temanite and the Arcturians.
Yes.
Cover of Bring Me to Life. Excuse me. It's really good. It's really good. Like, it's hard to make. I find oftentimes that like a lot of covers or remixes or, you know, bootlegs of songs, of like old songs like that, dubstep remixes in particular kind of fall flat in some way or another, and Temanite and the Arcturians just kind of fucking nailed it. Honestly, like it's such a banger, dude.
Yep.
Really well
just on the
done.
really quick topic of covers, have you heard the one the Arcturians did of the Korn song "Freak on a Leash"?
No, I haven't.
Because they did that one with Clockvice, and that's also pretty cool.
They did another cover with Temanate too. Actually, it was "Promises," I think, the Nero song. That one's good. I like it.
One other one. Spaghetti released an EP, Armageddon EP, and it's good. It's really good. I'm pretty sure
like it.
I'm pretty sure he played this stuff live at Thunderdome, dropped it live at Thunderdome with like the visuals that are in the music video too, and it's just more spaghetti.
You mentioned Odd Prophet. Just so you know, I've announced a new EP today.
Did he?
Yeah, available on March 6th. Optical Illusion.
Nice.
Speaking of Odd Prophet, dude's Twitter has been kind of on fire lately. Some of it is a little bit cringy, some of it really funny, and yeah, just go check that out.
I can tell because that's how his music has kind of been. Like,
I don't think that's
at the end of Rhythm Love Song, it's just like, what the fuck is going on with this ending there, bud? So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't actively go and search for a lot of new stuff.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with listening to what you know about, you know.
Yeah, I just I just branch out from people, the artists I like collaborate with.
I think the one thing that I'm actually waiting for, which I wasn't really too wild about when I heard it, I think Illenium and X collabed again, and
they haven't released that yet.
They haven't released that, and I'm
Not released.
waiting for it. But it was I remember hearing it in the 2 hours the 2 hour set at of Lost Lands, and I wasn't too wild about it. I don't know. I don't think anything that they do will ever be able to top Gold, in my opinion. So,
Excision, Illenium, and I Prevail. That's the band that sings on that.
okay.
Okay. I just remembered a couple more things that I should talk about. Josh in particular might like that Code Pandorum had his second song from his album come out. It good. So, go peep that if you feel like the harder side of dubstep.
Yep. Code Pandorum's neat.
Yeah, I really like his music. And then I've already lost what I was going to talk about. Oh, I wanted to talk about Keizo real quick. He had this album come out called Unleashed, and it's got like buku features on it. It's so stacked, and I'm so excited to go see him on the Unleashed tour because it's so cool. But yeah, he has like Our Last Night, Bless the Fall, Alex from All Time Low, Memphis May Fire, Cal Pavone, 1788L, Yultron, Of Mice and Men, Under Oath, Micah Martin, Boys of Fall. All these dudes are on this album. And then, of course, he's had music come out after that with, like, Atreyu, Bad Omens, Ray Volp. Absolutely insane how many people.
Wait, that one is 1788L. Wasn't Kid also on there? I'm trying to remember.
Kid is also on it, and I don't like that song.
Yeah.
I don't like
I usually like Kid. I do not like that song.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Sorry, I keep interrupting you guys. I'm sorry. I guess that leaves Danny to talk about what he wanted to talk about, which I'm actually interested in because I know nothing about any of what he's talking about.
Okay, so first of all, 100 gecs released a remix of Ringtone, and I thought that was pretty good. It has, I think, Charlie XCX, Rico Nasty, and Caro Caro Benito featuring on it. That was good. Second, we have a new single from Car Seat Headrest and a new album coming out in May. The song's called Can't Cool Me Down. That's decent. Then we have Phoebe Bridgers with a new single called Garden Song, and I liked that one. The Strokes have an album coming out, I think, in April, and they have a single called Bad Decisions, and I love this one. Okay, so this one, so the Strokes back in the early 2000s, they had this kind of post-punk revival sound, and they're kind of bringing that back, but it sounds very new wavy the way they're doing it in this song. It makes me think of, there's this song from modern English called I Melt With You that's kind of big. It sounds almost exactly like it, but it's really good. And then the 1975 has a new single called The Birthday Party, which is decent, but the lyrics are kind of weird. When someone gets really high and then they just kind of ramble on about whatever the fuck. It sounds kind of like that, but honestly I think that's what Maddie was going for, so I can't really fault that. Mm-hmm. But those are what have come out in the past month. That's my track roundup.
Okay. Did you want to talk about any of them in depth or not?
I think that's about as much as I'll say for those.
Okay. That's cool. A lot of great music apparently came out this past month. I felt like this past month was dry for me, so I didn't really have much to talk about. But it sounds like y'all had a lot, and that's cool.
Yeah.
If you could do a roundup of links for Spotify, or
I'll send a playlist.
Yeah, just send a playlist, or tell me the titles and all that. That would help out.
Last thing,
building a playlist. What's up?
Faith No More is touring. That's
Not
pretty
a big
cool.
fan, to be honest.
Yeah, so there's one in Houston, which of course me and my dad are super hyped for, and there's also one in Austin. So me and my dad are driving up to Austin, and then going down to Houston. So yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Nice. I'm gonna be going to Houston for the Excision show this month, so that'll be cool.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to games then, because games.
It's that month.
It is March, my people, and it's time for some big games. But before we talk about the big games coming out this month, I want to talk about a couple things that I noticed that were kind of interesting this last month. We'll get there, sorry, don't worry, we'll get there. Stardew Valley finally has update 1.4 on all platforms: mobile, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. PC, everywhere that it's available. It is now on 1.4. That means you can play multiplayer with anybody, anywhere, and it is super cool. However, whatchamacallit, mods do not work anywhere except for PC, and some of them work on Switch, but you have to have a jailbroken Switch, and it's not worth the hassle. Just play on PC. Concerned Ape also teased/announced that 1.5 is coming sometime this year, so that's cool. Hype. I fucking love this game. I cannot wait to have more content for it. Also, Torchlight 3 was announced / renamed into Torchlight 3. Previously, the developers had a game called Torchlight Frontiers that was coming out. It was going to be like a subscription-based game. And basically they decided that the premium model wasn't as good for them as just a one-time purchase for all their content. So, yeah. That's all the information I have on it. It looks cool. It looks like Torchlight. If you've ever played Torchlight, it's a pretty fun little game, if you like that sort of game. And it's supposed to be coming out sometime this year, and it's definitely going to be on Steam. I don't have any more information on that. There is a rumor going around that Disney / Lucas / EA are thinking about remaking the Knights of the Old Republic games for in the Star Wars series. And one of the sources for Kotaku says that to think of it less of a remake and more of like a reimagining, which is kind of worrisome in that field. If any of you ever played BioWare, especially older BioWare RPGs, the Knights of the Old Republic, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, early Dragon Age, Jade Empire, games like that, you'll know that they're very, very heavily prided on having branching decisions and consequences, and basically pioneering that entire like area of RPGs where like consequences for your decisions matter and all that goodness. With that being said, if this game is more of a reimagining, there's kind of, what are they going to take out? What are they going to put in? How are they going to change up the game? How are they going to make it fit with the new canon that, of course, Disney wants to approach with TV shows and movies in the future? And we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. And related news to Star Wars and EA, of course, Star Wars Fallen Order came out last year, and it did very well. It was very well received. I'm very, very happy for that. And they announced that a sequel is coming eventually. So, yay for that.
Disney CEO just quit, right?
Yes,
I don't remember if it was it the CEO or the COO?
I think it was the CEO was like, I don't think he voluntarily quit. I think he was just straight up replaced. But yeah,
which happens.
He stepped down and was replaced by someone pretty much the moment that they announced it.
Are we talking about Bob Iger? Because it says here he resigned.
Effective immediately, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, effective immediately is always
questionable.
We're going to fire you, but we're going to let you leave with dignity kind of thing. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that recently, but he had also like confirmed a bunch of shit for this year. I'd almost wonder if he was like trying to get last words out to try and save his career or something, because he like confirmed like release dates for the new Mandalorian and Winter Soldier and a bunch of other things. Oh, look, Cookies is in chat. Going back to games real fast. Does anybody just want to hop into the discussion for this month?
Fucking,
what it is?
we might as well just straight up talk about Animal Crossing and Doom. We might as well.
The big giants.
It's not the discussion topic.
Not the discussion of the month.
That's not. Oh,
No.
I thought we were.
No.
I generally tend to like a lot of stuff by Blizzard. I played World of Warcraft. I play Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm. Not getting Warcraft 3 Reforged. That's the thing for today.
Oh, we're talking about
Boy.
this fucking game. Okay.
This
Yes.
game has
This game.
This
such
fucking
a
game.
bad launch. That's why it's called This Fucking Game, because it's always the focus of that's what the focus of this segment is like games that are just abhorrently bad. Just they're doing the absolute bare minimum. They're doing terribly. They're not delivering on what they did. If we had this last year, No Man's Sky would have been on this list, and No Man's Sky would actually be on the redemption list this year. Had we done that last year, but we didn't, so that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Warcraft 3 Reforged.
I think the funniest thing about the game is that they just had a tournament for it, and somebody ended up like losing because they got disconnected every single time they were in a winning position.
Impressive.
It's absolutely abysmal how they they basically took the old game and wrapped it up in this whatever they did and gave it to people. Let me read you just a small tiny list that I prepared. Other than new character models, the game remains vastly unchanged. So a lot of the maps are exactly the same as they used to be. The UI is literally just lifted from the old game into the new game. It still has the same resolutions. It has the same frame rates.
Connections are worse.
Yeah, their netcode is worse, but that's because they're running off of old netcode on new servers or something like that, and it doesn't work. You have to update that shit for it to work. So, yeah, they're doing that. Here's something super fucking interesting that I found out. The main menu of this game is not the game.
Go on.
It is a Chrome-based app.
Disgusting.
How? How did you take out the main menu and put in a Chrome app? It makes no sense. I don't know, dude. It's so abysmally bad. And the last little detail that I actually dug up for you guys is excruciatingly dumb and abhorrent. And it is that cutscenes, they promised new, revamped, animated, totally cool new cutscenes with the new character models and just all kinds of extra goodness. And they're still the same cutscenes as before. And it's not even that, they didn't have time or they forgot to implement new cutscenes in. It's cutscenes that they showed at BlizzCon. The ones that were finished, done, completely done. They were able to showcase in a trailer they put up on the internet. It was at their convention. They're not in the game. They're made. They're somewhere, but they're not in the game. How do you screw up this bad? How? After the Diablo mobile thing, after your fucking abysmal Overwatch shit that you pulled all last year, after the
Battle for
Hearthstone
Azeroth
instance,
being baddish.
I was going to mention that too.
It's because people say Blizzard, but they're forgetting something. It's
I understand
Activision
that
Blizzard.
Activision.
But how do you make stuff for a game and then not put it in the game? I don't
Because Activision.
I don't understand.
in all honesty,
Activision.
How is there so much incompetence in this company that they're like, oh yeah, we made all these new things for this new game, or for this remake of an old game, and then just bundle up the old game and forget to put in your new stuff?
I'll be honest,
understand.
I'm just seeing a lot of games right now that are just getting, they're unfinished when they're put out. And
That's true too. That is a trend.
That is a
It's
big
really
trend.
just a trend right now. You're seeing that with, No Man's Sky, etc.
And I guess it's kind of like Blizzard's way of seeing how much they can get away with, how much they can put out before people start writing.
Blizzards.
Activision Blizzard. Sorry.
I'm
You're
gonna
absolutely correct.
I'm gonna hammer that in.
You're absolutely correct, and I want to highlight that real quick.
I fucking hate Activision.
I love
Who
Blizzard.
actually likes
I
it?
greatly dislike Activision. So
So I do want to highlight that real quick. a lot of Blizzard's issues started when the Activision merge happened. And it wasn't as simple as Blizzard buying Activision or Activision buying Blizzard. It was a straight up merge. They still have their own company names. They're not... I don't know how it works, but they're still technically separate entities, but they're owned by the same parent company. And oh boy, everything went downhill. Their customer service went downhill. Their net code just went to shit. Battle.net just kind of started not doing as well as it used to. Not that it was ever really great to begin with, but it was better than 99% of the other MMO / singular brand kind of launchers that were out there.
Battle.net has always been fairly trash, in my opinion. Anyways.
It's always been not great. It's been better than the others that are not Steam or even recently GOG.
I don't generally rate them because I don't think they matter that much, but I've not really had any problems with Battle.net in particular.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's okay, and that's the thing. Like you give raving reviews for things that are good. You give abysmal reviews for things that are bad. But when things are okay, they kind of just don't get reviews, which is why I'm saying like it's okay. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just kind of all right, and it's definitely better than some of the ones that I've used in the past. Dude, I don't understand how Activision has brought this company so fucking down low. And it's like Josh brings up a good point. You can buy COD games on Steam, but you gotta go to Battle.net to launch Black Ops 4. You know, it's just like make your... If you've dedicated yourself to a platform, stay dedicated to it. No, yeah, I know, Josh. I'm sorry, I didn't make that very clear. Yeah, it's bad. It's not good, and every day people are finding out more and more that more is wrong with this game. There are more bugs than the original had somehow, and it's just awful. And they're not offering like any support for it. They're actually like banning people from their forums for asking for figuring out how to get a refund from them.
Yeah,
that's
great.
It's terrible. That's all I have to say about this game and the company.
I feel like there weren't really many complaints with Blizzard before they joined with Activision.
There was. Diablo 3 had one of the most lackluster launches and follow-throughs in basically the history of that company before Activision, of course. It didn't come to the expectations of most people. But that being said, I think going into the Overwatch golden era and then just before Activision bought them, it started going downhill because they couldn't keep up the pace on that game and Heroes of the Storm at the same time.
So. Well, yeah, they merged with Activision in 2008, so...
Oh.
I think Heroes of the Storm I was playing it, Pat, after 2008, because they released it after that.
Overwatch came out after 2008, too.
That was 2016.
Yeah, 2016 is Overwatch.
I don't remember Activision merging that far back. Wow, okay. So, I mean, but still... Yeah, I guess that would mean that the Diablo 3 release happened after that, too.
I used to play a lot of WoW, and sort of the 4 expansions I remember, they had Mists of Pandaria, which was like the first one after Activision. That was okay. Warlords of Draenor, which was atrociously bad. Legion, which is pretty cool. And right now we're in Battle for Azeroth, which is also atrociously bad.
I will say that I remember the first 3, actually. Crusade,
Wrath and Cataclysm.
Wrath and Cataclysm. Crusade was okay, as they didn't add a whole lot. Wrath of the Lich King is probably still held as the best expansion. Yeah, even the cinematics today, like they're a little dated, but the cinematics today just like they still hold the same weight that they did. And Cataclysm, it definitely hit the nail on the head on how to be like, this is even bigger than Wrath of the Lich King, but it still kind of falls short in a lot of categories. But it's still, I would consider that the second best expansion.
When I told a few people about like WoW Classic coming out, they were like, I'd play Wrath of the Lich King again, not necessarily Classic.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel that on a spiritual level, because Cataclysm changed everything when it came out. They changed the world map, they changed a lot of, the quest and some of the characters, so it just kind of...
Yeah.
But, okay, for me, that's enough about Blizzard and their downfall. So, we want to talk about the giants of the month.
Was it time?
It is time.
I think it's time.
It's time to talk about Doom and Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
I've never played an Animal Crossing game before. Ever.
It's your time.
I intend to play this one. I feel like this is a game that Nintendo can't really fuck up. However, I need to knock on wood. There we go. Because we all kind of know how Pokemon went down, and I'm hoping that my first Animal Crossing experience is a good one.
All right, so let me clear the air for you real quick. Pokemon was not a bad game.
It was okay.
Okay.
I didn't say it was bad.
I felt like
it wasn't.
Just let me talk real quick. And I felt like the stuff that they introduced in the game was pretty good. That being said, Game Freak's habit, and very, very much a habit of cutting old features and cutting corners on games as they release them more and more, it's a well-known factor, and it's not really a Nintendo-related thing. That being said, Animal Crossing has had a history of re-releasing a game over and over and over again. Yep. It is, before Skyrim, it was Animal Crossing that did this. They released the same game, the same Animal Crossing, 3 separate times on the GameCube.
Yep.
So basically,
on one console, they released the same game 3 fucking times on the same console. Even Todd Howard hasn't done that.
What I'm getting at is that I'm gonna get the same experience as everybody else.
Exactly.
Yes, it's a very, very hard to mess up formula, and it's super, super difficult to take away much from it because they have not added tons and tons over the year. And also, it's been like 8 years since we had an Animal Crossing, so...
Has it really been 8 years since the 3DS one?
I think it was 2012.
Really?
It's been a very long time. Yeah. It's been a much longer time than almost every other game. 2012, yeah.
Wow, I cannot believe that. Wow, time flies.
Pocket Camp doesn't count.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just some shitty mobile game. We don't talk about.
I will say that Pocket Camp is the best mobile game that Nintendo's made.
I've yet to try it.
I don't give a shit about mobile, and we're gonna ignore Pocket Camp forever. Anyways, yes, excited for Animal Crossing, and anybody that has followed Animal Crossing or Doom already knows that they release on the same day, and I am definitely one of the people that thinks it's fucking awesome that both communities are getting a kick out of it and making cool fan art. I like it. I like it a lot.
The best kind of relationship.
It is the best kind of relationship, dude.
Sorry does bring up a good point. New Leaf, I mean, is bare bones AC game. Of course, it was a 3DS game versus a console game, so they could only do so much with it. But it does seem like they added the crafting mechanic from Pocket Camp, which I just now remembered that Pocket Camp even had. And that is actually a new addition to New Horizons, was the crafting kind of thing that they're doing, which will be interesting. I'm just super ready to terraform the shit out of my island. Yep. Over and over again. That's gonna be so fun.
Has to be perfect.
And let me just say, if you're into games like Stardew, like Harvest Moon, My Time in Portia, Graveyard Keeper, Moonlighter, this is like the grandfather of all of those games. This is where a lot of the casual playing, relaxing games started from, was Animal Crossing. And if you want to really, really just sit down and relax for a couple hours at a time, this is the perfect game to do it with. And it's not a game that you consume in 10 hours. It's a game you consume in 2-hour intervals, because there's only so much you can do in a short amount of time. You can keep playing after those 2 hours if you really want to, but you really just kind of consume very little of the game at a time. And what makes it great, being on the Switch, you can just pop another game on the fly, play that for a little while, then go back to Animal Crossing again. Complete a level on Doom, play a little of Animal Crossing. Complete a level on Doom, play a little of Animal Crossing. So, I highly recommend this game to everybody. Even though it's not out yet, I do recommend this general series. I think it's a very, very rewarding experience.
It is the most relaxing game you can get from Nintendo at this point. Or at least the way I view it. It's the greatest tree cutting simulator, lawn mowing simulator, gardening simulator.
It's like real life simulator.
Also debt. Crippling debt.
Yeah, crippling debt simulator.
That you can pay off. That you have hope to pay off, Great mechanic.
Evicting horrible neighbors simulator.
Fucking paying off crippling debt simulator.
Yep.
The fact that
the American dream.
Oh my god, you can pay off crippling debt in a video game, and the fact that you can do that is amazing.
Digging a trench around your noisy neighbors' houses simulator.
Technology is fucking crazy. We truly are living in the year 3020.
All right, we've talked about Animal Crossing. Let's talk about the other big boy. Let's talk about Doom Eternal. Boy, am I pumped for this one. Oh my god, I'm so excited for fucking Doom. You cannot believe how just hyped I am right now. I'm so ready to fucking shoot some demons in the face with my boy, Doom Guy. And I'm so, I was so excited for this game when it got announced, despite the terrible press conference that Bethesda had last year. When they announced that limited edition with the fucking wearable helmet, I was like, yo, I gotta get that right now. And it sold out almost immediately, and I had no chance of getting it. And then it cropped up on Amazon in November, and I copped it, and I'm so excited, and you best believe I will be streaming wearing that fucking helmet if I can actually see through it. If I can't see through it, then, well, we're not gonna wear it.
It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until it grows mold.
Boy, please don't put that curse on me. I will inspect it. I will inspect it when I get it, because I do have a slight fear that Bethesda will cheap out on it. But also, it's not Bethesda in particular that's making it. So.
And in general, if companies are going to end up doing stuff where they have incidents like Warcraft 3 where they're, not releasing games well, there's just a lot of other video games out there. So they can't keep doing this forever.
I don't know.
I'm having
Todd sold Skyrim to me a few times.
Skyrim was good.
Skyrim is not good. It has not held up. I don't care what anybody says. Skyrim is not a good game. Maybe when it came out, it was okay. It's not a good game. It's so dependent.
I have two things to say here. I have two things to say. One is that I disagree with you, Adrian, but that's not important. The important thing is you listen. You are allowed to die.
This hill is mine.
Listen, all right. You are entitled to die on your incorrect hill. All right.
I will watch my breakfast.
I am still playing Skyrim.
I will join you on the hill.
He will watch his breakfast. All right. Anyways, that's not the important one, despite the fact that you are incorrect. The actual point is that I'm having flashbacks to because you said you bought the limited edition. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that you jumped once again on buying a limited edition fucking game when it took you like 6 months to buy a standard fucking edition bed, dude?
Are we really gonna?
Yes,
Why?
we're bringing this back. When are you gonna jump on getting a fucking collector's edition bed? All right.
Why is it on my podcast? Why?
I'll take
Why
that.
is it that you just,
on the day of my daughter's wedding?
on the day of my daughter's wedding? Why is it that I constantly get shit on, man?
Because you bought you bought a collector's edition, Dave.
Oh shit!
Adrian, you're on the most podcasts.
All right, you are on your own podcast. We're gonna give you shit on your own podcast.
I wanna host this
You've
podcast
already
anymore.
been shit on for watching breakfast and not eating breakfast. All right, listen. You
Why?
are a meme. We are going to continue memeing you.
I don't want to be a meme.
Too late. You don't get a choice.
Stop. Now I gotta sleep on the floor. You have it.
All right.
I hate everything.
You're not allowed to die on your incorrect hill. You will die on the hill that we give you, and that is the meme hill.
He'll die in a standard bed.
Let me feed my limited edition addiction. Okay? Let me live my life the way I want to live my life.
I'm not stopping you. I'm just saying we're gonna fucking give you shit for it.
You know what? I am so fucking upset that I could not get the Animal Crossing Switch. You know why? Because I wanted to make sure that I put a proper investment in brake chains and get these shirts made for you guys. But now, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll just steal your money that you just paid to me on PayPal and fucking go buy a limited edition Animal Crossing Switch at GameStop. Maybe I'll go do that, Wallace.
With what, $20 that I gave you?
And the money that I've saved up for the shirts, too.
Okay, well, that wouldn't be very nice.
I'll donate to this cause.
And I'd have to fucking beat your ass at Lost Lands.
Wouldn't be very legal.
I'm just gonna dip on Lost Lands, too. I'll just get my refund and fucking be on my way.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to contact PayPal and tell them that I didn't receive the item that I ordered. So
you know what else? You know what else? There's no shipping agreement on the website. Now that I think about it, because you didn't get an email, did you?
Is there no confirmation email? I don't know. I put in my psych bitch tickets are final sale. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but not if you get the coverage plan, the emergency thing, whatever it's called. Which I did get this year because, you know, in case some actual bunk shit happened. Excuse me, Josh. What happened last year?
Yeah, I was about to say I got the coverage plan too. I'm pretty sure because I just I'm not trying to have round 2 of this. Yeah. I really want to go.
I would much rather not be out $600. $700, $600, $700. I don't
Speaking
know,
of Lost Lands, has fucking Producer's Den gone on sale yet? Jesus,
it's on there. I know it's on there because I clicked on it.
Let's see.
It's in the checkout. It's not like an item that you add to the cart. Yeah.
But,
so
wait, what the fuck?
Back to video games. Back to Doom Eternal. Instead of being made fun of. Man, yeah, I'm super excited for it. I always love the kind of like energy that Doom brings. Like, it's just this high octane game. There's no real like, I guess there's pro strats for every game, but like there's no real like, you know, you gotta play this way in order to get the best of whatever. Like it's very, very free form. You know, you can play it your way and you can win your way and you can brute force it. You can be a little more sneaky about it. You can use different weapons and just overall, I think it's a very fun experience. And even though I've only really played the 2016 Doom, I have played the other ones. It's just that I pick them up for a little bit and then I don't finish them. But I really love this series, and I love Animal Crossing, and I love Fire Emblem, and I love a lot of games that have come out recently, and that's kind of the end game for all is that there's just a lot of really, really good games out there, and if any company out there is treating you like trash, like hint, hint, hunt, nudge, nudge, Activision, Activision,
good one.
That's good.
Don't support them. There are plenty of companies deserving your money and giving you all of their love and support, like No Man's Sky, like CD Projekt Red with their Witcher series, and eventually Cyberpunk 2077, although that does speak to a different issue in the industry that I have brought up almost every tripod for the past year now, and it's that there's a serious overworking issue in the video game industry. We continually hear about tons and tons of people just working extreme amounts of their time, cramming as much as they can, just
Having a release date.
They gotta
put as much stuff as they can until the game is released, and then when the game is released, it's released. So it doesn't matter if it's unfinished.
Yeah,
because the big bosses said, "Hey, you should have this done this date," and then you get Warcraft 3 or No Man's Sky.
Yeah, and I get it. I truly get it. I understand that you gotta stick to a deadline, that you gotta do all these different things, but I mean, there is a serious issue in this industry, and as far as I can see, there's not a way we can have our cake and eat it too. We have to kind of respect. Fuck you, Drew. I just looked at memes.
Took you a while.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Tripod is now over. We will be concluding for the night, and I will not be playing any games afterwards. Bye.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. Tripod's not over. Unless it is over. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't really have any more games to talk about. Like, I've already talked about delays and stuff that happen where, like, you know, Final Fantasy VII was delayed till next month. Avengers was delayed until September. Cyberpunk was delayed until September. Something was delayed until May, and I don't remember what. Oh, Last of Us 2. So, cool.
Is nobody talking about the biggest game of all time?
Oh no.
Peggle 2.
The big Lego Star Wars game coming the end of the year.
You know what? Actually,
Dude, I can't wait for Lego Star Wars.
You know what? No, I do actually. It's a valid point. It's actually the Lego Star Wars games have actually been very, very solid games for the last few releases that they had. I wanted to say years, but they haven't really had much. Those actually have continually been very cool, very solid games, and I can't wait for the new one to come out. I do have more things to talk about in games. So first of all, Ultimate Chicken Horse is getting an update soon. They're gonna add like a couple new blocks, and that'll be super fun and interesting because Ultimate Chicken Horse is always fun. If you guys haven't played Ultimate Chicken Horse, basically, go ahead.
We're gonna make Josh cry again and more. We're gonna make everybody upset and very mad.
It's still not speedrunners.
Minecraft.
It's still not speedrunners. That is true. But we are gonna make Josh cry, and
so
we'll probably get a few good rage quits in.
What, by not having
it also
him on
isn't
the pod?
golf with your. Well, Josh didn't rage quit golf with your friends, so
having Josh not be on the podcast makes him upset already. So it's not that
true.
hard.
He did have an aneurysm.
We all had an aneurysm with golf with your friends.
We're hitting golf balls max velocity. Oh yeah, that's
Mr.
because
Full
Adrian's
Force.
stupid though.
I was full flex.
Just say speed.
Full flex.
Why
there's the picture.
Why does Adrian look like a granny? Sort.
Again with this question, really?
Why? But I just want to know
Yeah,
why.
I mean, I think the point
Adrian
of
looks
this
like a granny,
picture-
and Josh looks like a bread sensei.
I think the point of this picture is to make Adrian look as oblivious as possible.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like a granny
It's
in
my
his
profile
profile.
picture.
Actually, just a little bit, but not like a crazy amount. I don't know. He just
In black and white, it looks like a granny.
In black and white, I can see why. Uh-oh. This
How
is the one you
about
posted
this
earlier
one?
today.
What is this one?
Yes. No, well, not so much like a. Not so much like a granny. Is this Adrian watching breakfast?
God fucking.
This you put effort into this, Sarixa.
Looking straight at the breakfast.
Why did you put? It's blurred out and everything. Like you put you put shadows and
The
shit.
fucking bowl's sweating! It means it's been sitting there for a while. I don't. Why?
I love this. I love this.
No, I think it just feels pressure from being stared at.
I
All of you.
I
All of
wish-
you. Every single one of you.
Miracle worker.
I wish I was memeable enough for Sarixa to make
Why did
put
this
this
become a
much-
meme? I don't.
effort into art. Of,
don't
of
get to
me
question
doing
it.
dumb shit.
It just happens.
Fuck, dude. That's incredible. I love this. Can we pin this?
This is the video thumbnail now.
Yes. No, it just needs
Getting
to be
pinned.
No, Adrian, you know that thing the
Seething
Tripulse?
hatred.
That thing the Tripulse bot sent? That needs to be the thumbnail.
I love this.
Just like the
I love
stream.
this so
Like,
much.
don't get me wrong, it's funny as fuck, but like, seriously, guys, really?
Also, he doesn't really look like a he doesn't really look like a granny. He just looks like super like female. He looks like the kind of girl that would like that goes to the fucking bookstore and just spends hours in bookstores, not buying anything, just reading. You know,
Getting-
just
getting
get you know
oddly specific.
drinking their coffee from like fucking from some like not discreet but like unknown like
don't talk
coffee
shit on
shop.
Bud.
Little,
Sucks are comfortable.
it just fucking amazing. I love this so much. I've said it so many times, but I love this.
Okay. Back
Bless
to games.
your fucking soul, Sarixa. Bless
I don't
your
want to talk about
fucking
games
soul.
anymore.
Just one last thing.
I just want to try to over.
About games, just one last
Oh,
thing.
I
With all
fucked up my
these,
keyboard when I smashed my fucking desk.
with all these new games releases, I've just been playing a lot of older stuff. Like they had a Steam sale for Lego Star Wars. I got that. It's just like if you got all these terrible games coming out, play some of your older ones because you don't need to go all the new stuff if it sucks. That's just my life lesson.
That's what Kid and I have been doing these past few weekends, just racing
Fucking
older
Revengeance.
games. Yeah, we did that whole 2-day race in Revengeance. I'm trying to convince him, so bug him. I'm trying to convince him to do one for Sonic Advance 2 for the GBA. So if y'all want to see that happen,
Hey,
yell at Kid.
I got one for you.
Sure.
You want to play Dark Souls?
Wow, you're gonna ask me that, Mister? I gave up after.
No. Do you want me, you, and him to play Dark Souls?
Sure, why not?
Even though I'm going to be struggling because I don't know anything about it, but that's fine.
You'll be fine. Just
Hard
breathe.
game.
Just breathe.
I'm gonna run through a couple other game things that aren't necessarily this month, but have been recent. Monster Hunter had a new expansion come out, Iceborne. It's all right. I don't know if it's worth its price tag, but it's an all right expansion. If you like Monster Hunter, you'll probably like the expansion. Also, I already talked about Ultimate Chicken Horse. Cultist Simulator is gonna be doing a whole new situation and just a bunch of branching shit in it. If you haven't played Cultist Simulator or if you haven't seen it, I suggest looking it up. It's actually a very interesting kind of tabletop game where you're playing as a person who starts a cult and you have to arrange meeting with different people, find artifacts, and just doing a bunch of crazy shit. And it's resource management meets card game, and it's super interesting. It's definitely not a game for everyone, but it's a interesting game, and it's available pretty much everywhere too. Also, looking at my newsfeed, Okay, never mind. I thought that Monster Prom might have got a new update, but it didn't.
Haven't we been waiting on a fucking update from Monster Prom? Wasn't there some sort of
I thought there was supposed to be a winter update, but it never. Either it passed us or it never actually showed up.
Everything is still loading on the fucking oh, there it is. Simplified Chinese localization. The ice update is almost here, and that was on the 19th of
But then, like,
December.
if you scroll down, it says, "Here are the gifts we're bearing," as if it's already out.
Maybe we missed it, but like, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
It's fine. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. Monster Prom 2 is supposed to be coming pretty soon. Is it called Monster Prom? I don't think it is.
I don't know.
That's cool. All right, I've run through all the topics. I've already gotten plenty mad. I'm sure I'm sure I've alerted my roommates and made them worry, but whatever, it's fine. Does anybody have anything else to say related to games, music, or Tripulse?
Buy a collector's edition bed.
You said
They
that.
replaced Diamond in Minecraft. That's all we should have been talking about during games.
Replaced? No,
Not
they
replaced, but they have
outdated it.
they have made it useless.
It's been overthrown. Boy, let me tell you, Netherite is a challenge. Oh man, it is not. It's terrible. The new Nether stuff looks cool though, so that'll be interesting to see whenever it comes out. Anyways, I guess that's it for Tripod. Thank you guys for showing up for this Tripod. Thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for being a part of me being an absolute meme. One more time, going down to the list. My name is Adrian.
My name is Drew, and thank you for watching us and listening us memeing on Adrian this whole episode. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, my name is Jacob. Thank you. Don't forget to watch your dinner or your breakfast.
My name is Wallace, and I don't have an outro.
This is Danny. Thank you for listening, my dudes.
All right, peace out, guys. Thank you so much.